Hey, all right, y'all. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a terrific day or whatever the case may be. So obviously it's your boy Bruce Lee. Welcome back to the I Am Bruce Lee World channel. Before we get started with today's video, I need you to like, comment, subscribe. Man, I ain't whooping nobody ass. Life already doing that to me already. Follow me on my social medias. Everything is at I Am Bruce Leroy. And for those of you that don't know, on TikTok, it's no more at I Love You Lady. I got my profile pic at I Am Bruce Leroy. All right. So, looking at me. All right. So, try to adjust this fucking mic. So let's just grab it shit like this. All right. All right, guys. So today we're going to be doing the recap of the Eagles and the Giants games, the Eagles and the Giants game. And there's a few things I want to go over real quick. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is just really briefly. I kind of reacted to it. I posted it on my social medias, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Y'all, I mean, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I might have put it on my YouTube too. I did. I put it on my YouTube channel too. So the thing is with that, So I pretty much reacted to it. I think the Bills definitely got the better of the trade. You get a veteran wide receiver who's still productive. Obviously wasn't playing with a great quarterback. And we're going to talk about Deshaun Watson and the Browns on the next segment. And obviously you had Devontae Adams with the New York Jets. So honestly, as good as that was, because if you think about it like this, how Mike Williams performed, and if I'm not mistaken, Mike Williams may or may not be injured. Don't quote me on that. I didn't care to look it up. So with the Devontae Adams thing, I think it was a good thing because I think the way Mike Williams performed with Aaron Rodgers on that Monday, it's certain things. It's a certain thing when it comes to the quarterback being able to trust his wide receiver, and I believe that was pretty much going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think it would have been. I don't think the ball would have came Mike Williams' way at all, especially after that late game interception where, it was a miscommunication between the route he's supposed to run. So apparently, I think that, and when Aaron Rodgers was speaking about it, he was talking about he should have ran the handbreaker and he did some other shit. And then some other people pointed out that there was people that were wide open that he could have just checked it out too, but that's neither here nor there. But I think that, obviously Devontae Adams been one out of the Raiders for a long time. I really don't blame him. They don't have good quarterbacks right now. Gardner Minshew is a spot starter at best. We know this because he played on the Eagles. Again, he wasn't given a fair opportunity because Sirianni and Steichen didn't know how to properly game plan for him the same way Doug Peterson did for, the same way Doug Peterson did for Nick Foles. They didn't know how to game plan a less mobile, more or less of a pocket passer type prototype. So that doesn't work out. But again, Gardner Minshew wasn't spectacular anyway. Again, he's a spot starter at best. But yeah, ever since Jimmy Garoppolo's playing as terrible as he did, and then the whole carousel of quarterbacks that they've been through, and obviously Derek Carr leaving to go to the New Orleans Saints, it wasn't going to matter if he stayed on the Raiders or not. It was really time for them to move on from the Derek Carr era, to be honest with you. Right, so yeah, I think Devontae Adams. Obviously getting a guy who's already familiar, he's still a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. He's still capable of making big plays. You got him right at his prime. He's playing with a quarterback that he's already comfortable with. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I didn't get a chance to watch the Jets and the Steelers game on Friday. Not Friday, sorry. On Sunday Night Football, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I heard he got held to 30 yards or some shit like that. But honestly, the Jets got to be careful because at the end of the day, you can stack up your team as much as you want. You can put as many players on the team as much as you want, right? You still have to play together, and you still got to play the right way. And to be honest with you, when I watched, because I did get a chance to watch the Bills and the Jets game. That was the Jets game that was prior to this last one that just passed on Sunday, right? So when I watched the Jets game, the first thing that stuck out to me was a couple things. One, I think Aaron Rodgers has a huge ego. I think at the end of the day, I think is he an all-time great? Yes, but I think his attitude, him missing mandatory, I think it was mandatory, I don't know if it was mandatory OTAs or it was a mandatory thing that the team had to go. It was around the training camp thing. It's like sometime in the summer. I don't remember what it was, OTAs, whatever, but it was required. he didn't go, and I think that even Garrett Wilson was kind of, every now and then you would see them in those conversations that he'd be throwing jabs here and there, right? Because obviously, you being as great as you are, or the legacy that you have had, has not necessarily been with New York. It's been in Green Bay pretty much your whole entire career, right? So you're just getting off of an ACL injury, right? And then, honestly, even before that, like before last season when he did have the ACL injury, he didn't play well. That probably was the worst season I've seen Rodgers in pretty much, you would argue, probably maybe the beginning of his career, but I don't think in the beginning of his career he was that bad. Like, he was horrible. Like, he went from being a MVP of the league, a guy who was just, really careful with the football, not turning it over, playing conservative, great, just doing a great job being a game manager. Then the next year, he just completely falls apart, and he plays like shit. He cleans it up at the end. I think Green Bay just missed out on a playoff berth, but still, it's like Aaron Rodgers is getting older. I think the book is pretty much already written. I don't think his body will be able to hold it. By the way, I just recently found out, like about an hour or two ago, that he has a hamstring, and so he's already dealing with the knee, the ankles, and some other injuries and shit. So he has a hamstring injury on top of that, right? So he's getting older. He's still capable of throwing the football. There's still, obviously, once an elite quarterback, always elite quarterback, but he's definitely nowhere near that level as what he once was, I'd say 3 years ago. I'm not even going to say 2 years because, like I said before, his last year in Green Bay was pretty fucking bad. He cleaned it up once again towards the end of the year, but he was not playing good, okay? And so far, he's kind of been up and down. But one thing I've noticed while watching that Bills and Jets game is this. That offensive line is horrible, right? Tyron Smith, I think he had Hall of Fame potential. Definitely was one of him and Zach Martin on that Dallas O-line was very good, but same thing with Zach Martin. They just get injured too damn much, right? So I think he was on maybe a possible Hall of Fame trajectory because he was outstanding. But, it is what it is. They got Vera Tucker, some other guys. Those guys are very undisciplined. So really, that came down to the coach, and that came down to Robert Saleh, making sure his guys prepare. Anytime your offensive line has a discipline problem, that always falls down on the head coach at all times. So the offensive line has a bad discipline problem. On top of that, you don't have a bunch of rookies there. Like, you got some guys that's been on the team for a long time, and also Tyron Smith is a veteran offensive lineman. So to have that many false starts and a bunch of penalties with the offensive line, that's a huge no-no. You're not going to win football games like that because all you're going to be doing is getting into third and long situations, just making it harder for your offense to be able to move the chains, right? So, yeah. So, honestly, with the Devontae Adams thing, I don't think, it was a great trade. But if you ask me, is that trade good enough? And even I agree with Mad Dog's take on First Take. Is that trade good enough to be able to say, hey, is this going to fix what the team's issues? It's not. Rodgers got to play more consistent. The offensive line has to hold up, and they got to do a better job of limiting those penalties because that's huge. And the defense been kind of up and down, but also they've been dealing with some injuries too. I think DJ Reed recently got injured. I'm not sure if he came back in. So the defense been dealing with some injuries. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Quentin Williams. I think it was might have been his cousin or his brother, something like that. He plays linebacker. He's pretty good. He got injured. I think he's out for the entire year. So that defense definitely dealing with some injuries, and they kind of been up and down as far as their overall performance. Which, obviously, Robert Saleh is a defensive-minded coach because we know he was a coordinator he was a defensive coordinator for the 49ers once upon a time, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. The Amari Cooper thing I like better because you're getting a guy who's still productive. It's an extra weapon that Josh Allen can throw to. He's a veteran. He's still got the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl talent is still in him. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is horrible. Like, probably I'd say if we're talking about starters, he's definitely the worst quarterback in the league. Now, I want to address something, okay, because I know that I was on social media and I seen some shit I didn't like. Listen. Number one, first and foremost, okay, Deshaun Watson, it was not proven in court. There was no definitive proof in court. There was no actual verdict that came out that said Deshaun Watson 100% did everything he was accused of, right? And you also have to understand this, right? Once you're guilty in a court of public opinion, you're guilty, period. So you can have 50 motherfuckers say, hey, listen, you did X, Y, and Z. And it don't matter if, let's just say 10 of them or 15 of them were lying, they're going to believe that every single one of those women will tell the truth because you're guilty in the court of public opinion. So once you ruin your reputation with the public and, you know, the whole world's against you, the media, things of that nature, it doesn't matter what you did or didn't do, right? So he never was actually found. I mean, listen, I'm not going to say Deshaun Watson did it, and I'm not going to say he didn't do it because I wasn't there. Listen, even if I had the opportunity to be there, I still wouldn't be like, yo, listen, you and your massages, bro, that's your business, right? I get that. But at the same, in the same breath, right? There was nothing that held concrete. Also, here's the thing, okay? It doesn't matter what the fuck he did or didn't do, even if he did everything that was accused of. Wishing injury on somebody and bodily harm is just very, very fucking weird. And it's like you think that you're somehow better. Like, let's just play devil's advocate for a second. Let's just say Deshaun Watson did everything that he was accused of. How the fuck does you wishing injury on somebody or celebrating somebody getting injured, how does that make you better than him? If, let's just say we're going with the hypothetical, Deshaun Watson did what he's been accused of, right? How in the hell does that make you better than him? Explain. Because you asked me, that's pretty fucking evil. I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you something right now. It could be a fucking, you know, nigga could have get grape, essay, whatever the case may be. If, let's just say, a hypothetical scenario, let's make up a scenario here. Let's just say he was stopped by the cops, right? And it wasn't, and he was beaten by the cops. And there wasn't, you know, they didn't have a right to stop him. They didn't have, what the fuck you call it? It's not reasonable doubt. It's some other shit. It's like, I forgot which reasonable suspicion. They didn't have reasonable suspicion to go over there, right? But he gets beaten by the police. You celebrating a wrongdoing just because of the fact that the person has done wrongdoing in the past doesn't make you better than that person. It makes you just the same, if not worse. So, I mean, thank God I'm an Eagles fan. And listen, I'm pretty sure there's some weird-ass Eagles fans, too. And trust me, there was one. Like, when that fucking stupid-ass lady, if y'all remember in the summertime, she got a chance to go into NovaCare Complex. And this lady was taking a picture. She's taking a picture by Darius Slay's locker. She stuck her middle finger just being a fucking weirdo. So believe me, there's weirdos in my fan base as an Eagles fan. And there's weirdos in the other 31 teams, right? But at the same time, it's like, who the fuck raised y'all? Like I really wonder, like, I be around y'all and I'm in customer service, things like that. I just really wonder, like, this world is so fucking ass backwards with everything. And not only is it ass backwards with everything, y'all conscious, y'all, you know, compassion, you know, y'all brains is just fucked up. I don't know if it's just because of a bad upbringing. I don't know if, you know, you guys weren't taught the same values as what people would assume that you would. Like, you know, you motherfuckers don't, like, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to go off a little bit of a tangent here. I don't even want to open doors for motherfuckers no more. And the reason why I don't want to open doors for motherfuckers is because y'all don't say thank you. And then it was a situation on social media, and again, I'm probably going on a tangent, but I have to just put this out there. It was a situation on social media, right? I don't know if it was staged or wasn't staged, right? I'm not condoning. Listen, matter of fact, let me just get into it, and then I'll explain it. So I think it was like a corner store, whatever the case would be. I don't fucking remember what it was. It looked like some kind of grocery store, bodega, whatever you want to call it. Lady walked out. It was on Instagram. I see it. Lady walked out, right? So I guess these two dudes was about to walk in the store. The lady was on the way out. They held the door for her, and they pushed her back in and made her walk back and then come out and say thank you. Now, granted, I want to hold my phone. I want to make a disclaimer. I do not approve of the behavior of pushing her back in to make her say thank you. That's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, like, man, motherfucker, like you asshole. Like, say thank you. Like, you say that in your head, but you don't force somebody inside to make them walk back and go through again and say thank you. I just think at the end of the day, you're doing too much, right? again, that person should be, and then it's crazy because the conversation was like, well, she didn't ask for the door to be open. Now listen, there are some situations where, okay, let's just say if you're walking out and I'm walking in, technically speaking, I kind of have no choice but to open the door for you because we can't both, I can't walk in and you can't walk out at the exact same time. I get that. That makes sense. So technically speaking, if you don't say thank you, I'm not necessarily upset with you because it's physically impossible. I would have to open the door to get in, and I would have no choice but to wait for you to get out. That way we're not running into each other. That makes sense, right? But I do not, once again, I don't approve of that behavior, but it just goes to show you that, oh yeah. So I was in a comment section. The conversation was like, well, she didn't ask them to hold the door for her. Y'all are fucking idiots. That is like, that is the equivalent of you dropping your fucking wallet out of your pocket. Or you dropping some money on your credit card, whatever case it be. That's like you dropping a personal possession. Somebody picking it up for you and saying, I'm not going to say thank you because I didn't ask you to do that. Bitch, they gave you a jet because they just took your fucking wallet. I don't understand why y'all are so comfortable with being just piece of shit human beings. Like, and everybody wants to use the excuse, nice guys finish last. Listen to me very carefully. This is what everything, like, number one, I think the world wants people to be jackasses. I just truly do. I just think the world is trying to condition us to be jackasses. It's not going, I don't give a fuck what I'm going through, how many people wrong me. I was raised to be respectful to everybody and show love to everybody, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to show love and respect to everybody until you show me that you deserve otherwise, right? And that's neither here nor there. But honestly, my default interaction with people, my default MO is to show love, kindness, and respect and generosity. That's my MO, right? But, however, some of y'all be jackasses, like, for real. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, how the hell do you like y'all motherfuckers have lost y'all minds? Like, this generation is just all around just fucking weird. So just going back to the Brown situation real quick and just kind of wrapping that up. A lot of y'all got issues. A lot of y'all got a lot of healing to do. I don't know if maybe your parents might have abused y'all. Maybe y'all parents were they were absentees. You know, maybe y'all just struggling to pay bills. Y'all struggling with life. Y'all struggling with mental health. Whatever it is, y'all, fucking on my mic. Y'all need help. Like, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all need some professional fucking help. Because it really don't make sense how y'all could look yourselves in the mirror, be pieces of shit. Oh, okay. So with the nice guys finish last thing, right? The purpose of that is basically to say set boundaries. Don't say yes to everything, and then don't wait till something festers up. If something bothers you and somebody does something to you right then and there, you want to address that. You don't build it up later on, and then when you fucking lost it, now you're gonna react very emotional. You're gonna make the wrong decision. Because instead of you addressing what happened to you at that particular point in time, like right off the bat, like, hey, listen, I don't like how you did X, Y, and Z, you let the shit fester up. So because you let the shit fester up, you now, my fault, I'm tweaking. Fucking on my mic, bro. Yeah. So because you let the shit fester up, right? Now your brain is going to automatically think, man, I'm tired of this motherfucker. And you going to lose it. Versus you just kind of thinking on a situation and analyze it and then make the correct move. But going back to the Brown shit, like fully going back to it, y'all need help. That's all I got to say. And I'm going to move on from it. Ain't no reason for me to go into a deeper conversation in that. All right? So a couple more things I would like to address before we start actually getting into this game. Okay? The first thing I want to, well, not the first, like about the third, right? The third thing I want to address is that I finally feel a little bit better about Bryce Huff, right? I think Bryce Huff is smart. He acknowledged that, hey, listen, when I was a New York Jet, I was in a 4-point stance, right? A 4-point stance is just easier for me, and obviously that's what worked for him. That's how he was able to get the production. That's why we signed him to $17 million to 3 years, $17 million a year, right? So that's why he's getting $51 million. That's the reason, right? Because he was producing, and how was he producing? He was producing in a 4-point stance, right? So the way his scheme is, in my opinion, right, I think there's two types of plays when it comes to defensive end, especially in the modern game, right? Especially in, because a lot of these ball clubs are using 3-4 schemes, right? So there's regular defensive ends, which I think Bryce Huff falls under that category. And there's linebackers who play the edge. Guys like Von Miller, guys like Michael Parsons, guys like TJ Watt. Who else? Guys like Hassan Reddick, right? So what Vic Fangio was doing is treating motherfucking Bryce Huff like Hassan Reddick. You can't do that. Those are two different players. Bryce Huff is an actual defensive end. Hassan Reddick is an edge rusher. He's a linebacker playing the defensive end in a 3-4 scheme. It's not the same thing. You cannot treat, you have to treat Bryce Huff like an actual defensive end. You cannot treat him like a fucking edge rusher, okay? You can't do that. So I actually felt a little bit better because I'm like, okay, at least Bryce Huff is actually acknowledging that he's taking some form of accountability, which is what I was looking for. I want some account. Obviously, I want him to play better overall. We'll just talk about him later on when we go to the defense. But it was a breath of fresh air to hear him at least acknowledge it. Okay, and I don't like Fangio's response to that. When you have a player that's getting paid the amount of money, right, he has to be, to a certain extent, be the focus of this defense. I understand that you're coming in with your own scheme, but you also have to understand that you have to play to the strength of your players. So I don't like Fangio's response with that. He was like, yeah, well, he's going to have to be the 2-point stance, but there'll be some moments where he played. No. If Bryce Huff is comfortable with a 4-point stance and that's how he gets his production, then you need to stick with the fucking 4-point stance. Don't give me this bullshit where you have to play. No. You have to do exactly what the player's strengths are. That's what you're here to do. You're not here to just do what the fuck you want to do. And if the players fall into it, they fall into it. If they don't, they don't. And that's why the defense overall has been very, very inconsistent, because he's coming and thinking he could. And that's why I said that in the very beginning that I didn't necessarily like him as a defensive coordinator, because he has an ego about himself, and I feel like that he doesn't necessarily take accountability. He's proven me wrong in some aspects, but again, it's a long season ahead of us, okay? So we'll talk about Vic Fangio later on, but I didn't like Vic Fangio's response to Bryce Huff saying that. You put your players in the best position to succeed, and him doing that shit, his response was not a response I want to hear out of a defensive coordinator, especially with a guy is struggling to get production, who's supposed to be produced because he's getting paid a lot of money to do so. You have to make the adjustments to make him feel comfortable so that he can produce at a high level. We're not going to just sit up there and waste fucking $51 million on a player, get paid $17 million a year because you want to stick to a certain fucking scheme. No, motherfucker. You got to go help your player produce. If he's not produced like he's supposed to, you need to figure out why and make the fucking adjustment. So I didn't like his response at all. Let's just start filming. A couple things I want to talk about. So the first thing is Jordan Mailata is going to be out for 4 weeks. So Fred Johnson was in. We'll talk about Fred Johnson later on when we start getting into the actual game. Fred Johnson took over for Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata's going to be out for 4 weeks, which is going to really hurt us a lot. But, Jeff Stoutland is the greatest offensive line coach of all time. I'm not worried in the least bit. He's going to put the players in position to succeed. So I'm not extremely worried. But again, that left side, his blind side, losing a Pro Bowl caliber player who's probably on a more or less a Hall of Fame trajectory, that's a, excuse me twice. That's a big deal, okay? So now, let's move forward to I think the last one. Jalen Hurts taking snaps under center. So everybody was saying that, and I'm gonna be honest, when I seen it, first off, they weren't lying to get like a full-blown single back formation. So for y'all to come up with that information is just kind of crazy to me. He wasn't like, it was just literally just him just taking the snap right underneath. I'm like, there's no fucking way in the hell they're gonna put more single back formation. So this leads me into my next point, right? So Kurt Warner had an argument on Twitter, and I was arguing with some of y'all. So Kurt Warner is basically saying that really it's not Nick Sirianni that's designed this offense. It's really, this is a Jalen Hurts offense. This is basically an offense. The reason why there's not single back plays and things of that nature, right? And even Kellen Moore expounded upon it, basically saying that, we got to keep the threat alive of Jalen being a runner, which I think is bullshit. I think they can still do more single back plays. But again, that part, I can agree that it's more or less a Jalen Hurts thing. Hold on, I'm tweaking. God damn, boy. Yeah. So I could agree that it's more or less a Jalen Hurts thing, than it is a Kellen Moore thing. Because you think about it, all of Kellen Moore's offenses, like there was a lot of single back formation. There's not with Jalen Hurts, and I think it's because they was probably going through it. The new offense, he was like, I don't want to do this shit. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Kellen Moore for that one. Okay. Now, here's what I think of Kellen Moore. What I think of Kurt Warner's comments, right? And listen, Kurt Warner, quarterback of the best offense, and it really should be us to have the greatest offense in NFL history. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, we already know the issues that lie ahead of us, right? Now, when it comes to, I was about to say Nick Sirianni, but that's not what I wanted to say. Yeah. So when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I do agree that to an extent, especially with the lack of single back plays, I do agree to an extent that this offense is more or less catered to what Jalen Hurts is comfortable. I agree to an extent. However, you can't blame Jalen Hurts for not running the football enough. You can't blame Jalen Hurts for always operating out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. You're trying to throw Hail Marys. That's not on Jalen Hurts, right? You know, you're calling bad plays and situations. That's a coaching thing, right? That's a coaching thing. There are plenty of ways, like you're sitting up here blaming Jalen Hurts for shit that's like, this is clearly a coaching issue. And this is the reality situation. As great as Kurt Warner is very underrated in some respects as far as, we talk about greatest NFL quarterbacks of all time. Kurt Warner does not get enough discussion. Just overall, what he did as a Ram, what he did in Arizona and the second leg of his career, he doesn't get enough discussion for his consistency and obviously him being the quarterback of the greatest offense of all time. Again, it should be us, but y'all know our issues, right? It's not fun. If you're an Eagles fan, it's not fun with the fucking, it's like, but a vast majority of it is Sirianni. Sometimes it's Hurts not doing what he's supposed to do, but it's, you know, we all know we don't need to go through the whole spiel, right? So now here's the thing. Again, it's an extent, but there's certain things that a coach needs to do to help his players out. Are you going to blame fucking Jalen Hurts for the lack of running the football with Saquon Barkley? You're going to blame Jalen Hurts for keep ODing on inside zone even though it doesn't work? You keep trying to do inside runs over and over again. So we're running the ball where you just running it to the same. You're running it up the fucking middle and it's not working. You're not trying to find different ways to run it. It's not even. It's bad enough that you don't run the football enough. But when you do run the football, you do not. Again, we'll talk about this game specifically because, you know, this game was somewhat of a different story. But you don't even try different things like tosses, off tackle plays, right? You know what I'm saying, counter plays. You don't try different types of runs to try to see if, okay, is the run really not working or we're just not running the football enough or we're not running the football properly. You really can't tell the difference, right? So there are situational things that to sit up here and say that it's all on Hurts and Sirianni has nothing to do with anything and the blame, like it doesn't make sense. I agree to an extent, but this is why, and no disrespect to Kurt Warner, again, he's an all-time great, but this is why we've got to stop listening to motherfuckers. Like, you got to understand this. When you're there employees of the NFL, like Kurt Warner, I think Kurt Warner works for Fox or some shit like that, right? Or maybe NFL Network, I don't remember. But Kurt Warner, if I'm not mistaken, if he's a reporter, he is not a Philadelphia Eagles reporter. Okay, so what does that mean? That means his focus is limited. Why do I say that? Because he's covering all the other 31 teams. He's not honed in on what's going on, what the situation is, the predicament. Yes, obviously, I'm not going to pretend like I have more football knowledge than fucking Kurt Warner. I'm not going to be serious like that. But at the same time, I do think that if your focus is on 32 teams and somebody else's focus is on one specific team, that person's focus that's on one specific team will know a hell of a lot more. Doesn't matter what you did in your past or what your resume is as the person speaking. A person who covers one team is going to know a hell of a lot more. And listen, I've seen some bad takes from Eagles reporters. Like, don't get me started on that. But I'm going to take my advice and I'm going to take more analysis for somebody who's covering one team versus somebody's covering other 31 teams, because there are certain contextual aspects to certain things and why they are. And if you're not aware of that because you're not covering the team, like Shannon Sharp, for example, I don't know no fucking football that's Shannon Sharp, but Shannon Sharp is basically looking at things that, oh, Jalen Hurts is bad and the offense is struggling. No, there's more to it than that. Why are they struggling? Why? Because Nick Sirianni isn't giving Jalen Hurts enough options. He's not doing the best he can to help his quarterback. If anything, he's hurting it by giving him bad plays to run. But he's not treating situational football correctly. He's making bad decisions in situational football, right? That's the reason why, no matter how many weapons we had, we are scoreless again in the first quarter. We have not scored a single point in the first quarter. Okay, that's a problem. Still kind of linking on to this Giants game, but and I was arguing, motherfuckers. I said, hold on. I understand he got more expertise, but he's covering 31 other teams. And I was arguing motherfuckers on this. I think Seth Joyner might or might not have responded to that too. But I was arguing with him. I said, hold on now. I'm not going to say I might have more football knowledge, but like you just kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt. It's like I don't give a fuck how much knowledge you got more than me. You don't know everything because you're not covering that one team. So you're not on top of every single news update surrounding that one particular organization. So that way I'm not going to be able to speak on other organizations because my focus, yes, I could say what I think happened in the game, but there's going to be some things that fans who really get in depth and read all the articles and watch all the games and really just focus on their one favorite team, they're going to probably know more than I do. Right? They're going to know because they understand the context of what's taking place. Kurt Warner, as great as he is, legendary as he is, he's not going to understand the context, the entirety of the context of what's taking place because he's not focused his attention and time, the entirety of his time on the Philadelphia Eagles, right? So I want to move on from that. I want to start getting into this game, okay? So now, hold on, my phone. Oh, yeah. And if I didn't mention this already, Sidney Brown's officially back. So it was good. I think he had like a pass breakup or something like that. But he was relatively quiet. I didn't even know he had a pass breakup until I see somebody post it on Twitter. So I'm very happy that Sidney Brown's back. Definitely adding depth to this team, right? So let's get into this game. I want to speak about Jalen Hurts, okay? Now, I know a lot of y'all going to be getting up. Listen, Jalen Hurts wasn't perfect. He had a much better game the last game than this game. I think he missed a lot of wide open people. He missed Saquon Barkley, I think sometime in the red zone. I don't remember which quarter. And he missed Devontae Smith on I believe it was a drag route. So he wasn't perfect by the stretch of the imagination. But this what everybody got to stop doing, okay? Because finally, this game, even though it kind of took a while, it took like maybe 2 or 3 drives for us to get the memo. But we got it, and that's what matters, okay? So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we won the game 28-3. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Jalen Hurts' stats, I believe it was 10 for 14, 114 yards and a touchdown. And I think he had like 2 touchdowns rushing, 7 rushes for 22 yards. Okay? Here's the reality of the situation. Okay? This is what I'm tired of y'all doing. If Jalen Hurts needs to be criticized, you know I don't have a problem criticizing him. But what y'all need to stop doing is this. You have to look at the entirety of the game. Number one, when is the last time that we dominated a team? I'll wait. When was the last time, it's the Colin Ron be like Dora the Explorer when they be asking you a question, be like, yeah, are you ready to take this journey with us? And they just have this long ass pause, like they're supposed to hear, like you're supposed to actually hear what the fuck your response is. They be like, great, see you there. But like, yeah. So anyway, outside of that tangent, right? This people gotta understand. Y'all have to stop fucking complaining for no reason, right? I don't mind hot takes. I don't mind somebody going with the going against the grain and going against the status quo of an opinion. But if you're going to do that, you have to have some kind of proof, some kind of evidence, some kind of facts to back up your viewpoint. It just can't be just you spewing bullshit. So the fact that y'all get it on Jalen Hurts, and again, Jalen Hurts wasn't perfect. He definitely missed a lot of wide open guys, okay? It was a time where he was looking to, I think he tried to do a one-on-one route to A.J. Brown rather than looking the entire field, because I think Calcaterra was open on like I forgot. Rather than him kind of looking at the whole field, he kind of just stayed stuck on the left side. And again, if the Giants weren't, secondary wasn't bad. And also, here's the thing too. Big shout out to Dexter Lawrence and big shout out to Brian Burns because Brian Burns, I think, got injured, I think, second or third quarter. I don't remember which one. But Dexter Lawrence, man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. As long as no freakish injury happened, Hall of Famer. Dexter Lawrence, I mean, that guy, he can play football. I got to give credit when credit is due. He can play fucking football. Believe me when I tell you, he can play football, right? No question. I mean, he was wrecking hell. And Fred Johnson, man, Fred Johnson was getting his ass. So Fred Johnson did not play well. Tyler Steen, I always like Tyler Steen, man. It's just one of those situations where it's like Mekhi Becton just happened to, I think part of it, injury kind of fucked him up. But I think also at the same time, Mekhi Becton just showed, he just happened to show that he earned a job. But honestly, if, let's just say, for instance, Tyler Steen was taking a right guard spot, I think he's ready for it. You know what I mean? So Tyler Steen took over for Fred Johnson, and he actually played pretty damn good. Mekhi Becton, I think, is going to be out probably next week against Cincinnati. We'll see what happens with that. So we kind of have a problem because I don't know what's going to happen with Fred Johnson. I have to look that up when I get a chance. With the Jalen Hurts thing, okay, y'all have to chill out because there's a time to criticize him and there's a time that's like, you know what? With number one, he didn't turn the ball over. This has been a problem the whole season is him turning the ball over. He didn't turn the ball over for the second game in a row. He didn't even make a throw that was like, I looked at it and said, like, damn, like he almost got picked off. He didn't even make that kind of throw. I think for the most part, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I think for the most part with the opportunities that he's been given, I think he did pretty good. Now, I don't think he did better than the Browns game if you ask me, but I thought he did good enough to the point where I'm not going to say he's trash. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to take it easy. So finally, this offense get the memo to run the fucking ball. And one thing I love, which I've not really seen too much, pretty much really at all with the Sirianni regime, is they finally had a whole fucking drive where they ran the football. I think it was like the first or second quarter. They had 5 plays, all of them were runs for the touchdown. And here's the thing, Joey, I got to get on you about this. I didn't see his recent comments. I'm behind on the videos. But what everybody got to stop doing, stop getting upset when Kenny Gainwell comes to the game. That's going to help. You can't just use Saquon Barkley every fucking run play. Do I agree that they don't use him enough? And sometimes take him out the game when they shouldn't have? Absolutely. But you have to understand, Kenny Gainwell has been playing pretty good this season. Get over last year. Okay, he cleaned it up when he needs to. Y'all got to get over last year. All last year proves that Kenny G ain't ready to be a running back number 1. That's all. It didn't prove that he was a terrible player. Yes, there was some play that was left to be desired from him, but it didn't prove he was a terrible player. It just, he had a little bit of rough stretch, and it just kind of showed that he's not necessarily ready right now to be a running back 1 in this league. But doesn't mean he's a bad player. Like he contributes, and he's actually been playing pretty damn good. He ran pretty good, too. If I'm not mistaken, he had 13 carries for 56 yards. He was free. So Saquon Barkley, outstanding. Just outstanding. 17 carries for 176 yards and a touchdown. Now, I want to kind of double back between what happened back then and what happened now. Okay, so I apologized. I kind of threw one of my little songs that I recorded. Like, I'm sorry. And so I threw that in there to let him know that I apologize for cursing out Sirianni. Because now I know what you're going to say, well, you apologize, but you kept the segment. I kept the segment because I just wanted y'all to hear what my original thought was in its entirety. Not because I was like still trying to stand on business, even though I was wrong. Because the fan was, if y'all remember the Reddit post that I put in there in the last video, the fan was basically saying that it wasn't about him yelling at the fans. It was about him letting him know, like, yo, I'm like, I heard you. Like, the fan was asking him, like, yo, you got to run the ball more. And so I was like, yo, like, I got you. Like, he basically was saying he got this, right? And that's what he was telling the fan, but everybody took it as something else, right? So here's the thing, and I listen, Barry Brooks, I fuck with him. He has to understand this, right? I do agree that sometimes mainstream media, when it comes to talk about the Eagles, especially with Shannon Sharp, they don't know what the fuck they be talking about. More than half the, they really don't. Like, you can tell that just they don't know what they're talking about. I get it. But at some point in time, right, and let's just say, this happened before the fan was on Reddit and revealed what actually happened. People have to understand this. We're not going to just sit here and allow this nigga to just do what the fuck he wants to do. Now I get it. They're mainstream reports, whatever, mind their business. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like, we have to kind of hold people accountable when they do stupid shit. And you can't expect former players that see a coach doing, like, let's just say we're going to have this hypothetical scenario. We're going to just pretend like Sirianni wasn't telling the fan that, yo, I told you we were going to run the ball. He was talking about he was doing some other shit. You know, that's fans for some other reason. If we're going to just take that information alone, they had every right to criticize him. And, you know, Damian Woody was really getting on his ass. I think Orlovsky, too, like, yo, this clown behavior. Because nobody's going to sit up there and watch this nigga sabotage the fucking team like he's been doing all season. Everybody's supposed to be tight-lipped about it. No, he's sabotaging the fucking team. And listen, Barrett Brooks, I fuck with you. But you speaking for yourself. We talk about Sirianni, our guy. No, the fuck he not. I have to tolerate him because he's an Eagles fan. Don't get it fucked up. That nigga is not my guy. I have to tolerate him. I'm gonna keep it real. As a head coach, he's ass. From an X's and O's, like, yeah, he's a good motivator, but you can get anybody to do that. But like, you can get anybody to do that. Plus, know football and be able to execute as a coach. You know what I'm saying? And like we're not gonna sit here and pretend like this motherfucker wasn't sabotaging the team. Then at the end of the game when we won, everybody was like, yeah, see, I was the only person on Sirianni's side. And then Brandon Graham got mad at Seth Joyner, and then like the team felt salty to be like, yeah, we always all talk about Sirianni. Listen to me, Kevin. Sirianni deserves all the fucking criticism that he has received. I'm gonna say this one more fucking time, because y'all didn't hear me. Even though I got a mic about fucking for the first time in a long ass time, since like my videos were like on fucking 480p. Listen to me very fucking carefully. Sirianni deserves every motherfucking criticism that's been levied against him. We ain't gonna do this shit, bro. We're not gonna do this shit. We're not gonna sit up there and let this motherfucker sabotage the team. We just gonna sit up there and be like, you know what? You know, the team scored their baskets, they figured it out. We were the worst team in football in the last 7 weeks last year. We barely beat the fucking Browns, and Deshaun Watson cannot throw the ball accurately past 20 yards. What the fuck are we talking about? Stop this shit, bro. Cut it out. I'm very happy. Yes, Sirianni, kudos for great job. Great job getting the win. Great job dominating. Awesome. Fantastic. We ain't gonna sit up here and act like this motherfucker was a sabotage to the team. We're not gonna sit up here and act like that. You know, it was supposed to be all Kellen Moore doing the play calling, and he's been stepping in to the point where now he's even going this. He's telling a long-time defensive coordinator, I'm gonna call defensive play. I don't give a fuck who got a problem with it. He deserved the criticism that he received. He deserves the credit for this win 100%, but we're not going to act like, we're not going to sit here and let this nigga fuck up the football team as the head coach, and we sit up there and be like, you know what? He's doing a great job. He just has to figure it out. What the fuck have y'all been watching the last 2 years? What have y'all been watching? So no disrespect to Barrett Brooks and everybody else getting in their fucking feelings. I don't give a fuck. We are going to call shit the way we see it. If y'all don't like it, that's tough shit. You know, listen, we don't like that y'all literally carried the same fucking energy from the last 7 weeks of football last year into this year. We don't like seeing y'all barely beat the fucking Browns when Deshaun Watson can't throw the ball accurately past 20 yards. All right? And literally, you would have lost. If Deshaun Watson could throw a little bit, we would have lost. So stop this shit. Cut it out. And if the Browns didn't do a stupid-ass play on 3rd down in the red zone when they put James Winston in and did a fucking stupid-ass end around, we probably would have lost. So everybody got to shut the fuck up and let people say what they're going to say. Sirianni's not above. I don't give a fuck if it's somebody outside the organization. If we see stupid shit, I don't care who it is. If you're valid and you make sense, we're going to call it out. I don't give a fuck. So you got to cut this shit out. All right? Sirianni deserves credit for winning this game. Great job. I also give Sirianni more credit. He asked Saquon Barkley, he said, Saquon, you about to break the record. You about to get 200 yards. It's going to be the most yards ever by a player's former team. You want to get it? And Saquon, like the class act he is, said no. I'm gonna let the youngest play. You know what I'm saying? So that was, I respect Sirianni for that. Okay, and yes, I did apologize. I thought he was yelling at the fans for no fucking reason, but whatever he's done wrong, he deserves to get called out. So stop. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. Y'all niggas had my blood pressure going up, bro. I didn't think I was going to be able to yell, especially after you got a dominant win, but I had to get that shit out there. All right, cool. So Asad Reddick I should have got it out earlier, but I'm gonna just real quickly. Hassan Reddick got his deal reworked. So it was a rumor out there that if Hassan Reddick was going to be traded to an NFC team, we would have the second rounder. Okay, that didn't happen, which makes the Jets look even more fucking stupid because you knew you needed him. He's still an All-Pro talent, top 5 edge rusher in the league, probably top 3. You knew you needed him for your defense. Otherwise, why the fuck would you completely trade? So you wasted all that time to literally just sign him anyway. So regardless of Hassan Reddick, I'm happy that he's going to get his money, and they're going to compensate for the money that he lost. So I'm happy. Good. Okay. Shout out to Drew Rosenhaus, the new agent, for making sure they got the deal done. Okay. So credit to Hassan Reddick. I'm pissed off he got the second rounder, but it's okay. Excuse me. It's all right. I'm moving on. Right. We traded Hassan Reddick. It is what it is. The pick is not going to kick in until 2026 anyway. So like, whatever. Okay. Now, let's move forward. Now, let's go back to this. So, A.J. Brown, spectacular. There was a third down play. We did a one-on-one on I didn't like this shit. I didn't like it. Cam Jurgens, man. I'm telling you this right now. It's taking a little bit of a while to finally, obviously when you're a brand new center, and you kind of just developing that chemistry with the quarterback, there's going to be some issues. There's some issues when it comes to snapping the ball. Lane Johnson kind of alluded to that too, but I'm not going to blame it wholly 100% on Cam Jurgens, but I think Cam Jurgens at times snaps the ball a little bit too late because the chemistry between Jalen Hurts and him is not necessarily all the way there. Okay. Now, with that being said, Cam Jurgens, he did a pull block, I think sometime in the third quarter on one of the Saquon runs. And I'm telling you, I thought I was seeing J.C. Kelsey all over again. I'm going to tell you something right now. Cam Jurgens is a talented motherfucker, bro. To literally be able to play starting right guard, did pretty damn good. Got injured a few times, but did pretty damn good. And to play center, oh, this nigga's scary, bro. Like, we definitely hit on the Cam Jurgens. But a lot of people were upset about it. But I wasn't like, yo, we need another center to back up. And on top of that, he played right guard. Like, bro, that was a great pick. I don't know why motherfuckers was getting upset about the Cam. Like, y'all were weird for that. Like, yo, we're not supposed to get offensive linemen. Do we have to always get Roberts? Do we have to act like the Bears to just get a whole bunch of fucking offensive weapons with no offensive line? Like that's insane. That makes no sense. So I always liked the Cam Jurgens pick from the very beginning. I never had a problem with it. So Cam Jurgens, man, he played big. Steen played great. Calcaterra, I think, made a few plays. His blocking is fucking hard. I think it was one play where this nigga wasn't blocking nobody. I think Saquon could have had a bigger run on one of those, and he wasn't blocking. I'm like, what Calcaterra? What the fuck are you doing? So they gotta. I don't know if Stout needed to work with him because he's technically the run game coordinator. They need to continue to develop this man block because his blocking fucking sucks. Like Calcaterra, I hate the way this nigga block. He don't block nobody. Calcaterra, he's a horrible fucking blocker. I'm gonna keep it straight up honest. He's a horrible fucking blocker. A.J. Brown was just dominant. Just absolutely just dominant. Devontae Smith, I didn't have enough opportunities. Not ass. Jahan Dotson, I think I had one ball thrown to him. I forgot what happened that play, but the play didn't go through for whatever reason. Paris Campbell, by the way, just got released. I guess it makes sense because you got Sidney Brown back, whatever. Yeah, and I think that's it for the offense, man. The offense, we dominated. It was Saquon Barkley's day, and I'm glad that he finally got the memo, right? Let's talk about the defense, man. Bryce Huff finally got a sack, so it's nice to see that he's making progress. Again, I need more from Bryce Huff. I need a lot more, but baby steps moving in the right direction. I like it, right? Jalen Carter had his best game of the year, best game in a long time, to be honest with you. Dude had 2 sacks, was just wrecking havoc, breaking pressure on that. Jordan Davis a little quiet. We got to need him to produce a little bit more. Josh Sweat got a sack. And by the way, I didn't apologize to Josh Sweat because I don't like the Josh Sweat hit. Listen to me very carefully. Is he the same player as he was, I'd say, the beginning of last year? Not really. But one thing I like about Josh Sweat, the difference between him and Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat actually contributes in other areas. He actually helps in pursuit of the tailback. So he actually helps. Even if and sometimes he gets to the quarterback, he just gets just short in his rush. But Josh Sweat actually makes plays. I don't know why the hell y'all be sitting up there OD criticizing him, bro. Josh Sweat actually makes plays, bro. So, he doesn't need it. Again, we want the sack production to be high, but Josh Sweat actually does something. And that's all I want. I just want you to contribute, bro. And that's it. And I think I didn't see the Jordan Davis thing, but I heard Jordan Davis finally held up a key. He held himself accountable as how he's playing. But we get to a point, man, like, yo, it's going to be re-signing time. We're going to see if you have to pick up your fifth-year option. You got to give us a little bit more. I owe Nakobe Dean an apology. I have to understand this, and this is something that I kind of forgot. I think Vic Fangio reminded me of this. This is technically Nakobe Dean's first full year playing. So, yes, I understand we've been frustrated with the injuries, and then when he has played, he's not played. The inconsistencies, it's just bad. It's bad. The coverage is horrible. I get it. But we got to understand, sometimes we have to let these players grow and give them an opportunity and give them a chance, because if you don't get that much game experience, you can't put that much pressure on them. It doesn't necessarily make sense to do so. So you put too much pressure on a Kobe Dean to perform when it's like this is literally his first full fucking year. You know what I'm saying? So I acknowledge that I'm going to owe Kobe Dean an apology. I kind of was just OD. I was OD, like, super critical on him, but I just have to remember that, again, I need him to be more consistent. I'm not absolving him from his lackluster ass playing, but I am going to try to take it easy and be a little bit more patient with Nakobe Dean, because technically this is his first full year playing. He played some of last year, but he's just kind of been in and out with the injuries. But this is his first full year playing for real, like as a full-time starter. So, you know, we got to give him a chance, right? Zach Bond, not his best game, not terrible, but I need a little bit more out of Zach Bond. They're not bad, but not terrible, right? J.L.X. Hunt, I think when the fourth quarter, I didn't watch the fourth quarter, and the reason why I didn't watch the fourth quarter is because I was really going through shit. And on top of it, I'm like, not only was I'm like, you know, I don't see. If I was in a good mood, I was in good spirits, I would have watched it. But I was really going through a lot of shit this weekend. Like this weekend is probably like this weekend was really bad for me. Like really fucking bad. Just mentally and all that shit. It was horrible. But yeah, J.L.X. Hunt got a forced fumble, a sack and a forced fumble. I think like a strip sack. That's what you call it. So he got that. Van Sumeren was blocking and actually did it pretty good. So it's a good chance he might move somewhere else. Cooper DeJean, he did get stiff-armed a few times. And I'll be honest with you, if I'm Quinyon Mitchell, bro, they got to make Quinyon Mitchell go to that ball machine, because this nigga keep dropping interceptions. You got to stop dropping. Like, again, the CJ guard, it happens. This guy's really good. I'm going to be honest with you, like Malik Neighbors, listen, I understand maybe Daniel Jones ain't really give you the ball the way you want to, but here's the thing. Number one, your offensive line is terrible. Number two, man, just go out there and fucking play. All right? And even if you go through the ball your way, how much guarantee you think you're going against the best corner in the draft? You think it's going to be guaranteed you're going to come up with all the catches? Quinion's fast. He play hard. He's competitive. Like you're not. It's not guaranteed you're going to get him against the best corner in the draft. You're not going to get all of them. You know what I'm saying? So Blake Neighbors, again, I understand the frustration to an extent, but you don't develop this sore loser ass mentality. Like, bro, like you didn't play well. Quinyon won the matchup, all right? So next time, you know, you got a second time, we'll see what you... Hopefully, as an Eagles fan, I don't want you to do shit. But, you know, maybe be a little bit more competitive next time. I don't fucking know. But that's just that's a sore loser-ass move, bro. I'm just keeping it real. Like, sore loser. I was overlooking the target. Man, shut up, nigga. You didn't do nothing. You got 30 yards. You got your ass shut the fuck down, nigga. Lock down, bro. Lock down like a motherfucker, like Guantanamo Bay, bro. It's like yo, cut the bullshit, right? Slade... in and out. Slay made some good tackles here and there, but in and out. Chauncey, need to see more from him. Chauncey's just far. I mean, he's too goddamn far from what he used to. I need more, bro. Like Chauncey's not doing enough, bro. Overall, like too much talking, not enough doing. I need you to play better. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I ain't gonna be too hard. Defense play great as a whole, but like I need more. I need more. I'm sorry. Cooper again. Once again, I said he got stiff armed a few times. Punt returner, he was outstanding. Vic Fangio said something that was pretty good. He's like, yo, if he's playing a full-time nickel, I don't think it's necessarily a good idea for him to be returning punts. I agree with that to an extent. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I think he needs to focus on just going north a little bit more. It's less of the, you know, trying to do all this fancy shit. But he's strong. He can break tackles. He's fast. He's quick. Like, bro, he's an outstanding special team. So for emergency purposes, great. So we'll see what happens. I think also Paris Carroll probably got released because we're probably going to make Anaya Smith do punt returns, kick returns, and I'm not necessarily comfortable with him doing that just yet, but we'll see what happens as time goes along. Okay, now, moving forward, I think we're about to wrap up here. I think that's all I got to say. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. So great win, great team win. Oh, by the way, Brandon Graham played great as always. So I'm very happy to see that. So we got the Bengals. Don't take this team lightly. I know they kind of been inconsistent with the winning percentage, but Joe Burrow is actually one of the best quarterbacks in the league, at least from a statistical standpoint. Don't sleep on this goddamn team. Please don't. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, like this team the real deal. They got a great defense. So let's not act like we won the fucking Super Bowl. Let's build upon that. Let's not act like what we did against winning New Orleans. Act like that. Oh my God, all the problems done. No, they're not. We got more to do, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's all I have to say. Now, plans moving forward. My computer charger is not working at all. So I don't know what the fuck is on with my computer, my charger. I don't fucking know. But it's not working. I'm going to try the best I can to get y'all the video while I'm recording, at the same day I recorded, which is Wednesday, or maybe tomorrow. We'll figure it out as time goes along. I'm going to try. Now, music. I was over this Black Widow, but y'all look at my TikTok. I basically told y'all what was going on. It's been a lot of shit. And I'm very stressed out and I'm very overwhelmed. And it's not, bro, when I tell you nothing's going right in my life, nothing. I don't want to get up here and put myself in a horrible mood like I was, because I've been very emotionally distraught for a very long period of time. And literally, I just got the second half of Monday. I just was in a good mood. So, you know, it's been very, very rough. I ain't gonna lie, nigga, it's been rough in the fucking sandpaper, bro. It's been rough. So I was gonna put out some music. I can't put out no music because I have issues with my quality that I wasn't aware of, and I have to rethink about how I record. I have to see if I have to do a plugin. And I realized I also was recording the wrong time. So if you know on FL Studio, you know how you could go to the mixer bus and turn it down? You ain't supposed to do it like that. You're supposed to go to the WAV file and drag the shit down. And that could have been contributed to why the mix sounded the way it did. I didn't know that. And then I have to see how we're going to do with the plugins, because maybe, so when you go to the studio, there's an engineer tracking you that can just do compression on the fly and shit like that. Maybe that could be the reason why my mix ain't going out as great as I would like it to. So I have to learn. I've literally learned mixing and mastering at least on like a basic level to figure out how the fuck can I create a plugin for myself. So that's gonna be, I don't know how that's gonna be, right? I'll try my best to create more content. I just have to do it on the fly. I don't have nothing planned right now. I have to do it on the fly. And then I have to really commit myself to learning how to use a fucking plugin, how to create it, because I don't know shit about mixing and mastering. All right, so I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. I'm gonna try to keep my head up despite the fact it's damn near fucking impossible. But just trying to end everything on a positive note, man. Stay blessed, man. Stay safe. And that's all I got to say. Peace. Hey.